Hello and welcome to Dark Night Healing. My name is Julie and today I'm going to talk to you about how I came into my witchy powers and discovered Reiki. I always knew I was different growing up, and my family did some things that were special to our family. My grandfather had this one magic trick, and he was a big fan of magic and all things magic, Halloween, Christmas, everything. But he did magic tricks for us, and one in particular was called Pennies from Heaven. And they used to perform this every once in a while. It wasn't something they did often, and we were kids, so it wasn't like we followed very often. So I remember they moved into a new house when I was 10. And so I asked Grandpa, I said, Grandpa, can you do Pennies from Heaven? And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. It's not the right time. And I was very disappointed, and my sister was disappointed, but my little baby sister and my cousin were very disappointed because they wanted to see pennies come from heaven. So my grandpa made candy from heaven. And so this was something they could perform whenever because it just was. My grandpa died on Christmas Day. The magic kind of died. My grandmother also used to make these stuffed mushrooms that I loved. That was one of my favorite recipes, and I would ask her sometimes to make it, and she would tell me that it wasn't the right time, and well, it's food. That doesn't make sense. So, strange things like that. The area I grew up in, Bonnie Doon and Millwoods areas, we had a lot of pagan communities there, and we had heritage days where we brought food from, our cultures and our grandparents' cultures and that, and we shared them, and we celebrated Beltane, and we said Merry Christmas, but we celebrated Yule, and we had Yule logs and all those traditions and the firecrackers and all of it. It was a huge community thing, and over time that slowly got taken out. But after my grandpa died, they didn't really keep up any of the stuff anymore. So when I had kids, I really was asking them. I was like, why, can you do this for the kids, the pennies from heaven? And no one would do it. And it didn't make any sense to me. Why? Like, why wouldn't you do this? You guys did it a lot when we were kids. So it's like, bring it back. So that didn't work, and I didn't understand why. So I just left it alone. After my dad and my aunt died, I decided that I needed to get back to my roots. I needed to find myself and get back to my roots. Our family was broken. Most of our families, like on both sides, my family is broken. My maternal side is broken on all the branches. My maternal side, like my dad's mom's side, all broken. Like, it's just shattered. The tree is shattered on that side. My father's paternal side, though, it was shattered, but it's coming back together now. And I'm a part of that. After my dad died and I discovered delving into my witchy stuff, and so I got a spell book, and the first time I opened it, lo and behold, the first page I opened it to was Pennies from Heaven. My grandpa's trick, my grandpa's magic trick. And I started crying, and my husband was like really concerned, like, are you okay? Like, all you did was open a book. And I was like, yeah, but you don't understand. this book has my grandfather's spell in it. He wasn't doing a magic trick, he was doing a spell, which changed my perspective on everything, on my whole family, instantly. Like, I had always felt that there was something different about my grandfather. And when he died, everything changed. The whole energy changed in our family. It was, and I couldn't explain it. And now I know what it is. Now I know what it is. And I'm the only one left now. And I had to get away from them in order to heal it, because the damage is so far back. And it's going to take a long time to heal. So when my dad and my aunt died, my dad didn't know his biological father. And so when the doctors told me that I would have to go for genetic testing to see if I'm missing a cancer-suppressing gene, I immediately was terrified. That's scary. But I decided that I was going to start searching. My brother tried to dissuade me. He told me not to do it. Leave the past in the past. But the only people who want things left in the past are the people who don't want to know the truth. And the truth can sometimes set you free, and it did. It set me free in a million ways. I got the Ancestry DNA test, and I found my father's biological family. And I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was looking for medical information. I knew that this was going to be a shock. My dad had tried to contact his biological father, but due to circumstances beyond everybody's control, it was left alone. And my father decided not to pursue it ever again. So, even if there was some knowledge, it was kept a secret. And that's okay, because that's what was needed at the time. My dad was a grown man. I was already born. My sister was born. It was okay at the time. Dad was taking care of himself, so it was okay. So now I knew, though, I was a surprise for sure. And so anyway, but they openly accepted me, and I found out that my dad had a sister. And the moment I saw her face and we vid called, because they're all out in Ontario. None of them came this way, except for my grandfather for paratrooper training in 1957. He was here for a total of 16 weeks. So when I say that my dad was a shock, my dad was a shock. But I'm sure a lot of military men have had that problem. But anyway, so I met my soul family. They look like me. They talk like me. It was so different from how I grew up. I really didn't resemble anyone on my mom's side. And so when I saw these strangers, they looked just like me. It was unreal. And not only did they just look like me, they wanted to know me. And that was a gift that if I hadn't have said, fuck you, I'm going for it, I wouldn't have found. And my aunt, who I found, she is a Reiki Master, Holy Fire Karuna Reiki Master, and Celtic shaman, and a healer, and an all-around wonderful person. So not only did Spirit bring me to my family, they brought me the tools and the teachers necessary to heal our families. I had a hard time with believing in the Big Bang Theory growing up or evolution. I had a hard time with both of those, despite them trying to throw it down my throat, because then there's no purpose. And I just can't believe that we don't have a purpose. Why the hell are we here? There has to be a purpose. We are too intelligent for there not to be a purpose behind this. If anything is set off by 1 degree in the universe, the whole fucking thing goes up. I cannot believe that there isn't a reason we're here. Because if that's the case, then there's no reason to be good. There's no reason to listen to the law. There's no reason to listen to the governments. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Because it doesn't matter. We're just going to die, right? We don't exist after that. So I had a hard time swallowing that, which is why I went on the journey of religion and all of this to get where I am today. Now I know that we are energy. Everything is energy. Everything is a vibration, and you cannot destroy that. You can only change or transfer it. And I learned that very quickly when I watched my dad die. It was a scary but sobering reality for me that really woke me up to the realities of death. I'd seen a dead body before. Don't get me wrong. Some souls are happy to leave the body, and some bodies are happy to have that soul leave the body. But when my dad was gone, I knew that he wasn't gone. He just wasn't there. And I could see that. Because that was just literally like a vase with no flowers in it. That wasn't my dad. It was empty. And I knew that the moment it happened. It took me 10 minutes to convince my brother. But I knew the moment it happened. I knew that he was no longer in there with us. Auntie had come to get him. It was closing time at 2:30 a.m. And so I knew, and that changed everything. Absolutely my whole everything, because there's purpose. We have purpose now, but now we have to figure out what that purpose is. Which made me work harder. So this journey towards Reiki and my family, because as soon as I discovered these wonderful people who have opened their arms to me and loved me just because I'm theirs, like no questions asked. Oh, you share our DNA. That's it. That's all there is. Just come. We love you. Let us take care of you. That was something that I'd never felt before. I'd been told for many, many years not to ask for help. Don't ask for money. It's not coming. But hey, if you can come and help us, that'd be great. So having somebody want me was something that I'm still getting used to. But she really has encouraged me and taught me how to ground myself, how to balance myself and my energies. She's shown me our family traditions and encouraged me to continue them on. And she's, that both of my great-grandfather, my grandfathers, my family come from very spiritual, very magical backgrounds. And it's my birthright. This is my birthright, and I'm allowed to express that. To be able to feel that in a positive way is so relieving. So I followed in her footsteps, and as my grandfathers before me and all witches before them, to heal this for our line, and finding and learning Reiki from not only my spiritual ma, but from a family member who is a healer and part of my lineage to help me heal this has been such a great honor. And to do this work with her is a great honor. And if you're wondering, her name is Christine, and she's from White Flower Healing in Iroquois, Ontario. And if you're out there and you need somebody to talk to, or you need some healing, I highly recommend her and her best friend, Julie. Yes, there's some irony in this whole thing. I found my aunt. Her name is Christine. Her best friend's name is Julie. And I am Julie Christine. So I have a lot of synchronicities in my life to tell me that I'm on the right track. So this has been such a wonderful journey, and I can't wait to continue it. So for any of you that are questioning what your next step is, any of you wondering if this is the right path for you, don't let anyone else tell you not to do it, because that's their limitations, not yours. They're telling you what they can't do, not what you can do. And they won't do it. But that doesn't mean you can't. It's your life, you live it. Jump. No one's going to stop you. They can try, but at the end of the day, they can't. Like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if you know, you know. Like, you know. Stop questioning yourself. You do this every time. I guarantee you were just like me. You're like, fuck, I knew better. Oh, why did I do that? I second guessed myself. Why do I always second guess myself? Stop second guessing yourself. You had it right the first time. And even if you think you didn't have it right the first time, you did. It just wasn't the way you thought it was going to be. And that's okay too. So, I highly recommend Reiki, energy healing, and searching out your witchy side. I will later on be posting some Reiki healing sessions and energy clearing, stuff like that. I'm just, feeling into it. As you see with all these videos, it's something I'm intuitive. I do it as I feel. So those will be coming out as I feel they are ready to come. So I look forward to those. Check me out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. As far as I know, I'm the only Dark Night Healing out there. I will not ever reach out to you, ever. So don't mistake me for anybody else. I will never reach out to you. I will never message you unless you have emailed or messaged me on one of my platforms. At no time will I reach out to you, so don't be scammed. Other than that, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time at Dark Night Healing.